Listen to me very carefully. Because today I am going to explain the physics of your failure. And I am going to explain the physics of your future wealth. Do not skip a single second. Most people think becoming rich is a linear process. They think if they work for 1 hour, they get 1 unit of result. If they work for 2 hours, they get 2 units. This is the thinking of a laborer. This is the thinking of someone who trades time for money. But you are here because you want to build an empire. You are here because you respect the laws of science and mathematics. So let us talk about physics. Specifically, let us talk about friction and momentum. Why is it so hard to start? Why does it feel like you are pushing a mountain? When you try to save your first 1 lakh rupees. But the billionaires, the tycoons, they seem to make crores in their sleep. Is it luck? No. It is physics. It is the difference between static friction and kinetic friction. Imagine a heavy iron box sitting on a rough concrete floor. This box represents your financial life right now. It is heavy with debt. It is heavy with bad habits. It is heavy with the expectations of your family and society. And it is sitting still. It is not moving. To move this box, you must apply force. You push, but nothing happens. You push harder. Still nothing. You are sweating. Your muscles are screaming. You are using 100% of your energy. But the result is 0. The box has not moved even 1 millimeter. This is where 99% of Indian men give up. They say, I am working so hard, but I see no results. This is impossible. I am not meant to be rich. But they do not understand the physics. They are fighting static friction. In physics, the coefficient of static friction is always higher than the coefficient of kinetic friction. It takes significantly more energy to get an object moving than it takes to keep it moving. This is the law of activation energy. Think about a rocket launching from Sriharikota. Do you know that the rocket burns the vast majority of its fuel just to lift off the ground and escape the Earth's atmosphere? The first few minutes consume almost everything. But once it reaches orbit, it can travel at thousands of kilometers per hour with almost 0 fuel. It just glides. That is momentum. Your financial journey is exactly the same. The first 1 lakh rupees you save is the rocket launch. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to kill your ego. It requires you to say no to your friends when they want to party. It requires you to work when others are sleeping. You are burning all your fuel. And just like the box on the floor, strictly speaking, you might not see movement immediately. You are building potential energy. You are overcoming the static friction of your previous life. Let's look at the mathematics of this. If you have 0 rupees, and you earn 10% interest, you have 0 rupees. 0 times 1.1 is still 0. But if you have 1 crore rupees, and you earn 10%, you have earned 10 lakhs without lifting a finger. That 10 lakhs is more than most people earn in years of hard labor. This is why the rich get richer. It is not a conspiracy. It is simply mathematical momentum. But here is the trap. The valley of disappointment. This is the period where you are pushing the heavy box, overcoming static friction. But the movement hasn't started yet. Your brain is screaming at you. Your brain is designed to conserve energy. It sees you spending energy without getting a reward. So it releases cortisol, the stress hormone. It makes you feel anxious. It makes you doubt yourself. It says, stop this. Go back to being lazy. It was easier. If you listen to your brain in this phase, you fail. You return to the 0 point. And if you try again later, you have to overcome that same static friction all over again. You never reach momentum. You are perpetually stuck in the hardest phase of wealth creation. This is the tragedy of the middle class. They start, they push, they get tired, they stop. They start, they push, they get tired, they stop. They spend their entire lives fighting static friction. They never break through to kinetic friction. So, what is the solution? How do we hack this physics? First, you must accept that the beginning is supposed to be hard. When you are struggling, when you are tired, when you see no money in your account. Despite working 12 hours a day, do not panic. Tell yourself, this is static friction. I am paying the price of entry. I am building escape velocity. This mental shift is critical. You are not failing. You are simply in the high energy phase of the equation. Second, you must apply overwhelming force. You cannot push the heavy box with one finger. You cannot push it with half a heart. To break static friction, you need a massive spike of energy. This means for a short period of time, maybe 6 months. Maybe 1 year, you must go all in. You must be obsessive. You cut all distractions. You cut all unnecessary expenses. You focus entirely on generating that initial capital. You need to generate enough force to break the bond of inertia. Once the box starts moving, everything changes. Suddenly, the box is sliding. Now, you can push it with one hand. You can even walk beside it. The friction has changed from static to kinetic. The resistance has dropped by 50% or more. And the speed is increasing. This is when your money starts making money. This is when your reputation starts bringing you deals. This is when your habits become automatic. In the beginning, going to the gym is static friction. You hate it. It hurts. Every day is a battle. But after 6 months, it becomes kinetic friction. You feel strange if you don't go. It becomes easier to go than to stay home. The same applies to saving money. The same applies to learning a high-income skill. The same applies to building a business. Now, let's talk about the biological side of this physics. Your brain has something called myelin. When you do something for the first time, your neurons are firing across a rough path. It is slow. It is inefficient. This is neural static friction. But as you repeat the action, your brain wraps those neural pathways in myelin. Myelin is like the insulation on a copper wire. It makes the signal travel faster and stronger. It prevents energy leak. The more you push through the initial pain, the thicker the myelin becomes. Eventually, the action becomes effortless. It becomes a superhighway. This is biological momentum. You are literally rewiring your biology to become a wealth-generating machine. But you must survive the unmyelinated phase. You must survive the friction. I want you to visualize a graph. The x-axis is time. The y-axis is results. Most people expect a straight line, linear growth, but reality is an exponential curve. It stays flat for a long time. Flat, flat, flat. And then, suddenly, it shoots up vertically. That vertical line is where momentum kicks in. That is where the compounding effect takes over. Most of you are quitting while the line is still flat. You are quitting right before the curve goes up. You are digging for diamonds and stopping 1 inch before the vein. Do not be that fool. Understand the science. Trust the equation. Now, I will give you a specific protocol to generate momentum. We call this the 30-day velocity sprint. For the next 30 days, you are going to apply maximum force. Choose one goal. Maybe it is saving a specific amount. Maybe it is learning a specific tool. Maybe it is creating content. For 30 days, you do nothing else but that. You wake up, you attack the goal. You sleep, you dream about the goal. You are creating a massive spike in energy to break the static friction. You are shocking your system out of inertia. After 30 days, check your progress. You will see that the box has moved. And once it moves, do not let it stop. Because if you let it stop, static friction returns. Momentum is a jealous lover. If you ignore her, she leaves you immediately. You must keep the pressure on. But it will be easier pressure. It will be guiding pressure, not pushing pressure. Look at the Indian railways. A locomotive engine is incredibly heavy. When it is stopped at the station, it takes immense power to get the wheels turning. You can hear the engine roaring. You can feel the vibration. But once that train is moving at 100 kilometers per hour, it is almost unstoppable. It can smash through a concrete wall and keep going. That is the state you want to reach. You want to be the runaway train of success. You want your wealth to be unstoppable. You want your habits to be unbreakable. But you must first be the engine that pushes through the stillness. Stop complaining about how hard it is. It is supposed to be hard. Physics demands it. Nature demands a tax for movement. Pay the tax. Push the box. Break the friction. Once you cross that threshold, you enter a world that the lazy man will never understand. A world where results come fast. A world where opportunities chase you. A world where money multiplies itself. This is the world of kinetic wealth. Are you ready to enter this world? Are you ready to burn your fuel to reach orbit? Or will you stay on the ground, complaining about gravity? The choice is yours. The physics is the same for everyone. It does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your background. It only cares about force and mass. Be the force. Move the mass. Create your momentum. This is the success formula. We deal in reality here. We deal in science. And the science says you can be rich. If you are willing to overcome the initial resistance, go out there and push. Push until it moves. And then, never let it stop. I will see you in the next episode. Keep pushing.